walking down to the end of the street to pick the car up. The funny thing is, it's the same guy that delivered my truck. So, get on down there. Nice cold rainy day. Who doesn't love walking in the rain? Every day is a good day when Mercury shows up. You're good.
What about right side?
It's good. You're good. Bring it back. Oh, good Lord. Come on. Yes. All right, you're clear. Oh, mama.
Good.
Bueno. Damn, I'm gonna feel kind of bad cutting this thing up. Well, not that bad. Trying to remember how to drive this thing. You figured I remember since I've owned two of them. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Alrighty. Ain't nothing like a Mercury, especially when it's 30 degrees outside without a window. Somebody didn't mention the fuel switch. We'll get there. She has arrived. My neighbor's pool has to get replaced. Bad concrete. It'll be like this for the next 2 weeks. Awesome. Anyways, let's get to work. And this thing is by far probably the nicest Merc that I have seen. It is absolutely mint. Just a cream puff. I'm going to feel partially horrible cutting it up. Well, let's be serious, I'm not going to feel that bad. But this thing is, I mean, it's got all original floors, no holes, no rust. I mean, this thing is just fantastic. And it's going to look a heck of a lot better shortly. I mean, this baby looks like it was recently restored, I'm thinking. It was certainly had a repaint on it at some point. You can tell by the window glass, but I mean, just fantastic. So, I say we get started. So we're going to go ahead and shave the door handles off here. Get rid of the lock. First thing I need to do is remove this belt line trim because it is going to be in the way. We'll pull these out. Install the door poppers and the solenoids. Oh, look at that. The interior light comes on. Trip out. And yes, that's why the show is called How to Ruin a Perfectly Good Car. I'm sure there'll be some hate mail on this, so it'll be worth it. But I've got this door solenoid kit. You know, comes with these big old honcho door poppers. Some other miscellaneous hardware here. Some sort of, these are the little door popper jobbies, so hopefully we can install these. There's not always a spot for them, but we can try. Yeah, I'll see if I can fit it down here, if there's enough room here, but oh, look, it's even got one of those guys. Tire pressure jobby. Luckily, Patrick already went and did a little preemptive strike and got rid of the all the glass and weather stripping and miscellaneous nonsense that I don't want to deal with. So that's good. So I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the battery while we're here. All right. Better safe than sorry. Those little plastic tools for doing windows. This works for the trim. It's got little clips in there. Definitely where taking your time is important. You don't want to bend the stainless. So if you get behind the little clip here and just pop this in, it comes right out in most cases. Ta-da. Oh, good Lord. I mean, that thing is mint. Just amazing. Heck, maybe this thing isn't restored. It might be original paint. Heck, I don't know. 58,000 miles on it. It's possible, I guess. But, like Boyd Coddington said, anyone can restore a car. It takes a real man to cut one up. And this baby's getting cut. Like a Jewish kid at a bar mitzvah. There we go. All of that just remove the little door lock. Don't need that no more. This is where the door popper will mount. I just need to modify that just a little bit. It'll be good. Don't need that. So since this thing has halfway decent paint, I got the paper here to put on it, which is like a, it's supposed to be like weld and spark deflectors, it's called. It's actually a paper with the glue on the back, so it actually sticks to the car. Hopefully it comes back off, but I don't want to screw up this paint, so we're going to go ahead and wrap the thing with this. Yeah, that's pretty thick. It's got at least 2 coats of paint on it. Ooh, baby. 1, 2, 3 repaints. Zippity 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 zip 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 zippity 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 zip 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 zippity zippity zip 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 zip. All right, now that this is all cleaned up, just make a couple little patch panels and weld them in. Easy peasy. I'm trying to figure out how to hook up the stupid hose. How to hook up the solenoids and all that good stuff. Almost. I think that is going to work. It'll be just about ready to weld in. I'm going to go ahead and just tack this in place and then I'll TIG weld it. Never been very good at tacking with the TIG machine. That ain't too bad. I got a little bit of a low spot right here, but I can't get a dolly in there. So I may have to make something special. I don't know. Yeah, so maybe I'll get make a little special dolly to get in there. The passenger side turned out better, but this one's just, I mean, you're only talking, it's like, I don't know, like a 1/16 of an inch low, but you know, I want to bring it up. But, you know, I'm a little hopped up on the old day quills because I don't feel good today. Just got back from LA and must have shook hands with somebody who was a germ carrier, and you guys got me sick. So I don't know who it was. I don't hold it against you, but we're going to push on through. So tomorrow's adventure will be to install the solenoids. Similars in there. Right there. Alrighty, so new day, new adventure. So, in the preparation stage of cutting the roof off of this thing, I'm going to put some bracing here in the back window. I'm going to put some bracing here through the inside. I'm going to build my little guide for the windshield here. And then I'll start laying out where to cut the window out. Somewhere, well, clearly here. I think I'm going to cut it back to this edge here. Get rid of all this and start going from there. So I bought some 1/2-inch steel that I'm going to cut and use for that. Just about ready for the crash up derby. Kind of reminds me of the school bus on the way to junior high. Alrighty, now that I got my roll cage in here, all my bracing from a window, and start to cut all this out. The bracing is a pretty important piece here to put in before you cut the window out, because if the window frame twists even the slightest bit, your window will not fit. So definitely time to spend a little extra effort on that one. So next, start laying out what we're going to do. So before I get too excited here, I guess I'll move this other way and put my chain fall up on the top so I can actually hold the roof when I cut it off. And then I think we'll hack the back window out of here and say a couple of Hail Marys and hope for the best. Cornerstone of a good project. Alrighty, I think that's gonna work. Alrighty, well, we are just about ready. So, before we start whacking this thing, we want to do some basic stuff, which I've already done, but make sure all of our door gaps are good. This car is in phenomenal condition, so all this stuff actually is really good, so there's no reason to adjust the doors or any of that good stuff. Alright, here, so starting to lay out. Got a 5-inch piece of metal that I cut to use as my guide, because we're doing a 5-inch chop. So, it's a matter of finding where it's going to land on the pillar to best cut and go back together. So, just Just taking my mic here and measuring where the best spot is. It's going to line up the best. You know, so I think about right there. You mark that. About right in that spot here. Obviously, I'll redo that once I'm not holding a camera. Trying to do things one-handed is a little harder than it sounds, but so we'll cut that there. I'm going to go ahead and get the doors out of the way because I know that this is consistent all the way up here, and I'm going to end up cutting about right here. Get this out of the way. Then down over here, because in order to make this curve, here, because this is going to lean forward as it should, like a proper chop. Straight pillars are for chumps. I'm going to go ahead and cut this here. Cut it back here. And then cut it probably from this corner to about there. Get this out of the way. Same with this corner here. This will cut down here and get all that out of the way. So that way I can make sure all the corners match, but that's got to be done afterwards. This here we'll cut at about right here, and cut along there, and then come up and take my 6-inch piece out of here. Then around the back window, I got to have enough meat to weld, so I'm going to come in about 1 inch all the way around the window. Cut all of that out. So this is free. That will lead me to about right here. And then I'll go ahead and cut all this out to about 1 inch or so from here. A nice rounded corner, about 1 inch up from the belt line. So that gives me a nice place to weld. I can finish the metal. I need to cut the package tray out first. So it's a matter of just laying it out. 50 Merc is a relatively simple chop, so it's not a brain buster, but you know, there's still a lot of things you got to do. It's all about the planning. A monkey can chop it, but well, a monkey can make it look nice too. So, I mean, really, I'm just a glorified monkey, right? But I got thumbs. So laying out where to cut this here at the door. So right here, this line is where the stainless trim would go. Now, if I take and I cut it above here, and the stainless trim would be square here and come up to a point, which, of course, I don't think will look good. So I'm going to bring that corner down to here. So when the stainless goes back on, it will be cut at a wedge, and then this pillar here will bend at that corner and go up, and then this stainless will just have to come forward just a little tiny bit and then bend it at a wedge as well. So that way the stainless will have a nice little angled seam that will match the pillars for the door. Just those little details that count. Oh yeah, note to self, don't forget to put the bracing in. That's important. The layout definitely takes some time. It's an art form for sure. So you got to figure out where to take the pieces out to put it back together. One, the easiest way, and two, the best looking way. Best looking way being the most important. But if you can't get to come together in any kind of reasonable sense, then you know, it makes things that much harder. So now I've done several of these, so I got a pretty good idea what I'm doing. So I still went online and looked at other guys who've been chopping them, ones that I like anyway. There's probably, I don't know, I'd say 8 out of 10 chopped Mercuries I don't like. So the ones I do like, I followed them and asked them a bunch of questions and, you know, see what you can pick up here and there. So right here in the window, You've got this curve. So it comes around and stops at about right here is the dead spot. And then it starts to come back in. So you want it to cut before it goes in, obviously, now. Marking 1 inch above my belt line. So this area here, I need to cut a relief, essentially, or a piece out. Because the back window, when the roof comes down, the window is going to come in underneath it. So then we can weld it along that edge there. But I got this piece here I got to cut out. So I want to cut it just above the drip rail so I have enough, so that way I have enough room to get a hammer dowel in there to work the metal. I don't want to be too close because it'll screw me. So just run along there, scoop it up and come into about somewhere in this area here. Get rid of all that. So this will all be waste. I don't want to lose that piece yet because who knows. You just have one of those days where things just aren't working right. Today's that day. Alright, so you'll see in this area here, got my 1 inch that goes up there, got around there because you never want to weld on a corner. And then looking at the back window, so this is all relatively flat coming this way. And then it starts to dip. So we want to cut it before it starts to dip. So that way this will slide under and everything will fit fine. If we cut it back here too far where it starts to already bend, it's not going to fit right and it's going to be weird. So we want to cut it right about this area here where I got my line. So then we've only got to make this piece here. We also want to keep in mind this spacing here. You know, what really makes or breaks your chop is how the window flows with the quarter window. And then how your window flows with this being the catwalk. This will actually extend about 11 inches, if I do recall. I'm going to get rid of all this hump. This here will actually eventually blend up in the bottom of the window here. We're going to weld right along the edge all the way around the window to hide our seam, giving us the least amount of work. Making the front of the car look good is pretty easy. I mean, you really can't screw the windshield up. But the back window, I mean, just go and take a look at different Mercs. Just pull up randomly 20 different Mercurys, and you'll find that probably 15 of them are ugly in the back window. They either end up looking like the sail panel's too big and it's looking like a station wagon, or it's got a hunchback, or it's an easy thing to not get right. Now, this is, of course, my opinion. What do I know? But what I do know is what I don't like and what I do like. So we want to make this what I like. And that is just about ready to cut. So I'll come out here in the morning, slap some bracing in this thing because I'm not going to forget, and then we're going to whack it. Hopefully that roof will be back on it, at least tacked in place by the end of the day tomorrow. I'd like to have this thing done by the end of the week. This is what we call wishful thinking because we all know that's not going to happen, but you know, we all can dream, right? So here in the window corners, because the pillar is narrower at the top than it is at the bottom, this needs to go in and this needs to come out. So laying this out, you have your curvature. So I'm going to make my cut just at the output, or just about the end of that curve. Cut it down here to the drip rail. It'd be like a tiny little wedge that comes out of there, and this can just bend in just a hair. Now I got to keep in mind why I'm doing that is because I don't want to screw up how the dashboard flows into the cowl. So you got to take that into account. So just right there, I don't even know if I have to cut the inside all the way, so I have to play with that. This chunk will come out. And then up here, same thing. As it just about the end of the curve there, we'll cut it straight across, or maybe up to here yet, I don't know yet. Yeah, probably this way. And then this will actually get a wedge out of this area, which I maybe not even cut here all the way. I'll try to just cut this first, and this will bend out just a hair. And then this piece here will line up to this piece here, and then we can weld it all together in one copacetic situation. So in this pillar here, I of course have a hole for the spotlight. So we'll be right in the middle of where I got to cut, so that sucks. So cut that out, delete that stupid hole, because spotlights are lame. And then we'll weld all this back together. See, easy as pie. Alrighty, so went ahead and got my chain fall hooked up, got my straps from my roof to hold it all in place, and getting ready to weld in the bracing and all that good stuff. Then the brace it from side to side and front to back so it doesn't move on me. But first I'm going to get in here and cut out some of the braces on the inside, because once the bracing goes in, then I can't get back there. At least not very easily, and I don't feel like climbing under it. So we'll do it now. So I'm going to cut right above the package tray, and those two braces on the side there. So we'll be ready to make, as they say, the magic happen. Oh. Oh, stupid door. Good times. Well, how the hell are we going to film this? That ain't going to work. Hang on. That'll work. So this here is the package tray. That is cut out so it can disconnect from the window, which you can't see. There's a metal plate here that attaches this to this. So that's got to come out. That cut out. That cut out. I had to break out the big guns. All right, now that we've got that out there, let's put some bracing in there and get this show rolling. Yeah. All right, all of the bracing is in, all the layout's done, all the prep work is done, so we are ready to cut. So before anything happens, after we've got the bracing welded in, let's make sure everything's still square. So let's take this time to go back over our door gaps, make sure nothing moved. So the door's not closed all the way, but our gap is good. We have good alignment there. Can't see with this piece of paper there. That's good. That up there is good. That gap is, well, I guess not going to matter in a minute. Always also want to check your trunk gap too. Just make sure everything's square and level. Nothing's weird and cockeyed. Because if you screw it up now, you screw it up forever. So that's nice and perfect. Trim lines up. Top of the door. That gap is nice and square. Not right there, which doesn't matter because we're changing that. So I do believe this baby is ready for slicing and dicing. Well, that's enough goofing around. Let's get to work. The air saw really is the best thing ever. Well, that and giant gap. Making progress.
It's late night.
Through these doors, past the best country music dancers in the world. That's not us, but apparently some people come here to go dancing. We're coming here to drink.
Yes.
Door.
Write it on the inside of your wrist, okay?
I think we stay younger because we're more active. That's my thing. What do you
Thinking.
There's no hand.
I'm gonna go over here where there's a handrail because I'm like blind. I'm mostly blind.
Oh, apparently it's going to rain today. Wonderful. Guess I'll turn the pool off. Oh. All right. Son of a bitch. Stupid wind. In the 17 years of living here, the winter has been exactly zero predictability. So this baby is coming off. Alright. The hardtop look ain't too bad on somebody else's car. Alright, now on to the back. Open the door and get some air in here. Need the breaths. Gotta get the breaths. Oh yeah, that'll work there. You like that view? Well, that'd be perfect. How's that? Better? Better. Not bad for a Super Bowl Sunday. This really is where the genius of having the thing suspended from the ceiling really pays off. Alrighty. We'll get the back done. Now for the last piece, this guy. Now baby will be airborne. And we can go ahead and start gluing them back together. More fun. Ow, damn it. So sitting here thinking about the A pillar. Now, if I lay it out the way I was thinking, cut it here and cut it here, because this width here is the same as this width here, so it makes it welding back together easier. However, now I know I need to move this portion in or out 1/4 of an inch and this in 1/4 of an inch, because the overall width from this area here to this area here across is a difference of 1 inch, which split of course is a 1/2 inch and then 1/4 inch top to bottom. Not earth shattering. However, if I move my cut line down here and this cut line down to here, well, this line meet up with this line and keep me from having to move everything back and forth. So this will come over to here. And then I still got the drip rail. Trying to wrap my head around the visual. Now this has been done a zillion times. I've done this many times, and every way I think Is there a better way of doing it? Typically there's not, but it's definitely worth a thought. And really, maybe I'll just cut the whole skin off and then just make a whole new one from scratch. And then, of course, it's like the internals you got to work on. There's a lot of little factors in here, but it's a matter of trying to make it, let alone, easier, but cleaner. Because ultimately it's going to look right. Because, as the pillar moves, you don't want it to look, too bent. It'll look weird. So just trying to overthink everything out, which is generally the best plan. Well, I think we continue on. And just like that, she's been decapitated. And this is now where we say goodbye until next time.